Stream von mir. Und haben. Na dann. Ewige lange Wartezeit. Kann dauern. Ah, doch noch. Oder auch nicht. Ach nee, gut. Wir sind hier bei den Reads. Die Tipp behalten mal kurz und dann weiter geht's. Schöpfung, da haben wir doch was. Jawollo, gegen der Schöpfung bekommst du hier ein bisschen Medizin.
Hello again, Mother.
Jonathan, back already? Good, good. I was just about to go outside to find you. You shouldn't stay away for so long.
Do you need my medical attention, Mother?
Oh, you know I always refused to let you listen to my chest, son. It always seemed awkward, even when I felt ill.
I think you should take this. You'll feel better.
I'm not sure I'll ever feel better, but thank you, my son.
Goodbye, Mother. Try to rest now.
Goodbye, son. Please come back soon.
Ja, machen wir. Dem geht's gut und meiner Mutter geht's auch wieder gut. Jo, mache ich dann auch nochmal. Also heute gibt es dann zwei
Dr. Reed.
Streams.
A great night, what?
Do you need medical help?
You would save my life, Dr. Reed. I have not felt...
Don't worry. There is nothing serious to fear.
Ja, dann schauen wir
Seem
mal.
far worse.
Aber schön, dass du mir
I cannot imagine the
zuschaust.
pain these people must face then. You have my gratitude, Doctor. This disease has ruined my appetite.
Goodbye, Mr. Russell. I'm sure you'll take care of yourself.
Jo, dann verpasst vielleicht ein bisschen was, aber kein Ding. Was? Denn was gegen... Halt. Für das brauchen wir erstmal Rezept. Erschöpfung. Jo, komm, wir gehen mal wieder ein bisschen Medizin herstellen. Hier sind die wahrscheinlich, oder? Könnte gut sein, jo. Hier einmal Erschöpfung. Hier, in der Bürger. Eine kann man nicht behandeln. Der Erschöpfung einmal. Auch mal Erschöpfung. Mal Erschöpfung. Schöne Wagenladung an Blutvergifteten. Manche. Aber nicht. Herstellen. Auf unsere eigene Gesundheit brauchen wir den. Eines, aber da können wir nicht noch ein. Ja, ne. Immer zuerst mal erst ein bisschen verkaufen.
I understand exactly what that poet meant the other night. Good evening,
I may have a look at your goods, Mr. Russell.
Danke. Wir kaufen das zurück. Meldung. Oh, man nett. Ja, kommt noch die schöne Blume. Hier, Ringe. Oh, dann gehen wir mal hier. Da wird Mitgefährten besuchen.
Always a pleasure to see you, sir.
Please tell me more about your recent investigation.
As long as you lower your voice.
Are you sure your information about Redgrave is correct? He says he's the progeny of the great knight William Marshall, who lived some 9 centuries ago.
That's a lie. Lord Redgrave is unable to create anything but skulls, if the poor souls survive at all.
Why so vindictive? You suddenly sound like you're angry.
Forgive me, Jonathan. I hate myself for it, but I feel such pride in my discovery. I'm afraid I just can't help it.
Which is?
He did serve William Marshall. And yes, the blood he covets as a token does truly belong to that legendary knight. But he was never his progeny. His lineage is not so noble.
Alles klar.
How can you be sure the information was correct?
I made the acquaintance of a most interesting informer while investigating your maker, from whom I learned the truth about Lord Redgrave.
What would you have me do about Dawson?
The man is dangerous. Did you know he plans to build a wall to separate the healthy rich from the sickly poor? Do not make him your progeny.
What would you do?
The man's dying already. Let the reaper harvest the rotten fruit that is his soul.
What would happen if I made Dawson an Ekon like myself?
You would add a powerful immortal into a suffering world. An immortal who already craves authority.
Maybe I could teach him control, like you taught me. Lead him down the right path.
Mr. Dawson spent his life searching for a way to cheat death. I'm sure he has spent decades dreaming of how he'd spend eternity as a tyrant.
Goodbye for now, Elizabeth.
Goodbye, my dear. Please, be careful.
Jo, dann, wenn die uns rät, dass wir diesen komischen Da Vinson oder wie auch immer heißt, nicht verwandeln sollen, dann befolgen wir mal ihren Rat. Die wäre nämlich nicht so praktisch, eine große Mauer.
Can I help?
Yes,
I will take that as...
Make it stop, please.
Wollen wir sie erlösen?
I must go now.
Easy does it, boys! Murdering Spass!
Down mit dir! Liegen bleiben! Los, komm doch her, du! Schade, den hätte ich eigentlich aussaugen können. Na jo, zu spät. mal weiter. Heilung. Laut. Mann, oh Mann. Genau. Auch mit.
It's locked, all right.
So, von der anderen Seite verschlossen. Schade. Also kann man da nicht durch. Jedenfalls noch nicht. Jemand wieder in dem Haus. Jo. Aber leider nicht. Sonst wäre es bekommen.
Mr. Baker.
Evening.
Lungenentzündungen, Vergiftung, Lungenentzündungen, Zeitblut.
Goodbye, Mr. Bain.
The Swanborough cordial can be the answer to all your problems. As long as you have the money.
Dingens machen. Ziehen's. Mal. Blutvergiftungen Oh, 2 Lungenentzündungen. Schade, kann man nicht machen. Also kann man nur einem helfen. Ewig lange Ladezeit. Check. Dumm. Ah, na dann.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Prost.
All your problems. As long as
Na dann schauen wir mal.
Good
Habt ihr
evening.
noch was?
How is the sanitary situation evolving in Whitechapel these days?
When people buy guns instead of medication, it means they have already traded hope for fear in their hearts. In my book, that's never a good thing, Doctor.
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
Danke. Erstmal 2 für die Erkältungen, also wenn wer was braucht. Ne? So, der braucht was für die Lungenentzündung.
Mr. Bates,
Evening.
since I took...
Well, seen.
Gar nicht.
I will...
Ich glaube, ich habe noch eine Blutvergiftung. Liegen bleiben. Mit.
Good evening, Harry. May I come in?
Sure. Sure. Even my dreams are soaked with blue.
So,
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
do you need any medical help, young man?
Yes, I do. I feel so tired. I don't know if it's the epidemic, but everything seems so hard.
You'll feel better with this. But you need to get a grip, young man. Medication alone won't cure melancholia.
I'm not sure I'm happy with the idea of living long in a world like this. But I thank you for your concern, sir.
Your father and Mr. Lewis used to be good friends. What happened, Harry?
I was young then. I don't remember Mr. Lewis ever coming back again after my mother died. Or was it after my father started bullying him? I don't know.
Have you tried speaking to Mr. Lewis about it?
I don't go out often, but yes. And he scolded me and told me to leave him alone. I guess my father frightens him too much.
But you are not responsible for your father's actions.
Am I not? Dad always says that he joined that gang for my safety. So if I wasn't born, people wouldn't be worrying about Colossus Joe.
Goodbye, young man. Take care of yourself.
Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
You guard down, sir. Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you? Goodbye for...
Price, good quality. Come on, take a look. Don't be
You
afraid.
again?
Good...
Cheap price, good quality.
Die werden auch nicht. Stumme wird wohl auch nichts groß mehr sagen. Aber nö, da haben wir noch nicht alles rausgefunden. Von dem her, die wird auch nicht mehr viel beim letzten sagen. Ja, man weiß es ja nie. Knoblauch gefüllte. Es immer Knoblauch gefüllte sein. Über. Beide. Oh, ein Beil. Oh, die Axt im Hause, Spartenzimmermann, ne? Wasserschlauch gefüllt bin. Immer noch durch. Auch nichts mehr. Ja, mal weiter. Hier rein. Da kann man ja auch noch nicht. Gehen wir noch mal kurz so. Dann schauen wir mal, ob wir die Axt gut verwenden können. Alles rausgefunden, bei dem auch. Oh.
There are so many people
Und auf in die lange Ladezeit. Stunden handeln. Oh, hoffentlich nicht. Ordentlich Schaden, ne? Heilung. Als ich kann, muss ich eigentlich machen, aber dann gehen wieder Leute drauf. das auf jeden Fall gut verwerten können, dein Elixier. Dann schauen wir mal, ob wir gegen den großen Olli dort ankommen. So, machen wir wieder sterben. Da können wir leider nicht durch. Halb auch immer. Eine praktische Abkürzung, aber offensichtlich nö. Hier ich diesen Teleportierspruch. Ah ja.
See them fancy clothes? This one's the top. Watch it! It's a killer!
Liegen bleiben.
This is no place for you, sir. Are you bloody stupid? I'll send you.
So, der erhebt sich so schnell nicht mehr. Hört sich nicht sehr gesund an, Mädel. Komm, ich erlöse dich mal. Hi, schön, dass du zuschaust. Falsche Richtung. Kommen auf meinen Kanal. Oh. Was voll in der gelassen. Ja, hört sich so schön. Bleiben da auch liegen. Jedenfalls ein Weilchen. Hi.
Don't you know better? You cannot win this.
Eigentlich sehr gut. uns nun an den Boss, der dort unten lauert. Bossfight Hype. Kann dauern. Noch mal so.
This is despicable.
Reicht. Gut, zweimal.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Glaubst du es oder glaubst du es nicht?
Your blood is now mine.
Ja. Auch hier greift die Logik des Games wieder mal ein. Ne? Wir können hier in aller Seelenruhe. Her! Oh, hatte nur einen Schuss. Komm schon, gerade als ich die Ulti machen wollte. Ausweichen nicht vergessen. Heilung und so gespielt. Da. Versuchen Mars mit der großen Keule. Das hat schon mal gut funktioniert.
I have this thirst for blood.
Hat's hier nicht mehr Mäuse, sonst könnten wir hier nochmal unser Blut auffüllen. Gut, versuchen wir's. Och, da hat's noch eine.
This is despicable.
Give me your blood!
Ruhig her. Gib mir Blut.
Give me your blood!
Her, komm her. Lauf, 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 lauf. Tot. Liegen bleiben. Puh. Er will hinüber. Puh. Freut mich wie ein Eisel. War ich mir ein Ast? Von einer guck.
Louise's father was determined to find and save her.
Machte ihn aber anschließend sehr weit. Naja. Spruch nochmal, ach ja. Reden sehr schlecht, ne? Wenn. Oh, guck mal. Sehr schön. Gegner. Sieht nicht so aus. Och, zu früh gefreut. Hinüber. Er will noch mal, er hat noch nicht. Ja, gehen wir mal durch. Auch Wasser ablässt. Kann man auch wieder durch, oder? Können wir hier hin.
I have this thirst
Schön, ein paar
for
Mal.
blood. This is despicable. I have this thirst for blood. This is despicable. I have this thirst for blood.
Disgusting arsehole! Vampire or not, I'll never be your wife!
This is now my domain, young Egon.
How long are you gonna keep me locked in here? Let me go, you bastard!
In ein Blut und stirbt. Out. Juh, ja.
Miss Teasdale, are you all right?
How do you know my name? Who are you?
My name is Dr. Reed. I managed to track you down thanks to your father.
So my father really was looking after me. This man, this vampire told me my father was dead. Is it true?
I'm afraid so, miss. I'm so sorry for your loss. But you are free to go, as your abductor is no more.
I suppose my jailer also killed my father, didn't he?
Thankfully, he did not search your father's corpse, where I found his notes describing where he might find you. You should read them.
I must find my father's body. He deserves a proper burial.
Goodbye, Miss T. You should return.
Thank you for your...
Warum kann ich ihr nichts geben? Aber das könnte ich machen. Kopfschmerzen hätte ich was, aber da ich ihr das nicht kann geben, was ihr später. Also, dass ich sie später nochmal treffe. Wetter beim war schön. Nahrungspunkte meine ich. Das ist schön. Ah.
I hope you can stay a little longer this time.
Es ladet.
Dr. Reed, I am glad to see
Good
you
evening,
again.
Miss Price. I'm Dr. Reed. Do you remember me?
Dr. Reed? Yes, of course. You are the doctor who healed me and my mum. Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Good to see you too, Carol. Are you all right?
Oh, yes. I did not hurt myself recently. I know how to take care of myself now. I'm almost a grown-up.
Erschöpfung haben wir gerade nix.
Have you ever met the famous Aloysius Dawson?
Yes. A very strange man. Not very nice.
What do you mean?
He said he was ready to pay good money for rare books. And then laughed at what we showed him.
Why are you awake at night, Carol?
I am helping my mother in her shop. It's not easy, but I'm a grown-up now.
I'm sure your mother is grateful for your help.
I do the best I can. But I'm so clumsy sometimes. I drop things. I injure myself. It's a good thing my mother has the patience of an angel.
Why is work not easy? Is something or someone bothering you?
Oh no, most people are gentle with me. But I'm so nervous sometimes. I pay no attention and hurt myself. Good thing my mum learned first aid.
Oh, die Arme.
What can you tell me of the people living nearby?
I don't speak to many people, except our customers. It's not easy to make friends. And with the epidemic, it's even more difficult.
What can you tell me about the epidemic?
Some of our regular customers have left London. Some others only send their housemaids now. Everybody fears the contagion. I've even seen men with weapons.
Have you no friends at all?
No. Mr. Nithercote used to pass by and was always nice to me.
Does he not come by anymore?
No. Mum said he was weird. Always reciting poetry about a girl he'd met in Whitechapel. I wonder who this camellia may be.
Alles klar.
I hope you can stay a little longer this time.
Do you enjoy working with your mother?
Oh, yes, Doctor. My mother raised me alone after my father died. We've always lived together, and she has always watched over me.
Do you remember your father?
No, I was just a baby then. My mother always told me how strong and good he was.
Do you ever think about getting married, now you're a woman?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. Mum always says I'm still a child who has no idea how tough life can be. No husband would like a clumsy girl like me.
Goodbye, Carol.
I hope you can stay a little longer this time.
Oh, I am sorry, I can't help you, sir. Perhaps you should talk with someone else instead.
It's locked.
Dr. Reed!
Good evening, Miss Price. How are you tonight?
Dr. Reed! I didn't know you had returned from the war. I had a new doctor when you left, but he's not as kind as you.
Always glad to see a former patient in good condition. It's been a long time.
Too long indeed. And as a token of my appreciation, I'll grant you the best price if you fancy buying anything from my humble shop.
Good morning.
Do you know Aloysius Dawson?
Everybody knows him. He's only been to my shop once, though, looking for rare books and other intriguing antiques.
Did he buy something from you?
No, he left quickly. He almost laughed at my goods. Mr. Dawson may be a rich man, but you can't buy good manners.
But isn't Aloysius Dawson known for his philanthropy?
That was before his brother Robert died in an aeroplane crash. Since then, the remaining twin has turned into a heartless tycoon.
Man.
What can you tell me about yourself, Miss Price?
I'm still managing my shop. The only difference is, since the quarantine, we're open at night. You, on the contrary, seem to have changed a lot.
Really? Have I changed that much? It must have been the war, and the night shifts since my return.
Don't get me wrong, Dr. Reed, you're still handsome. Just maybe a little bit wiser, more serious. It suits you well.
Tell me more about yourself. No new fiancé? I remember you were hoping to get remarried. I'm sure you must have a few suitors.
Who would marry an old bat like myself with a grown daughter and a little business? As you know, I only fancy handsome men like yourself.
Yeah.
Have you noticed anything in particular in this part of town recently?
Other than you coming back to cheer me up? Nothing at all, Dr. Reed.
Carol's gratitude is exemplary. She seems determined never to leave you.
I'm taking care of my daughter as well as I can. It's not always easy, but she's the best gift life gave me.
But she'll probably leave you someday to live her own life. Will that be difficult for you?
Why would she leave? Children sometimes stay with their parents until the end, for they know no one else will love them as much.
Does your daughter still worry you, Miss Price? I remember you were often concerned about her health when she was younger.
Have you not seen Carol since you returned? She's almost a young woman now, but she'll always remain my sweet little baby.
So you're less afraid?
Some things never change. Carol is still too clumsy for her own good. Sometimes her innocence puts her in real danger.
Why would her innocence put her in danger?
She does not realize how cruel life can be. Maybe I was a bad mother to protect her too much. My poor dear Carol.
You have every reason to be cautious, Miss Price, especially in these difficult times.
Maybe you could talk with her, Dr. Reed. It would be nice to have a man here more often. We would both feel safer.
Jo, vi kommer så ofta vorbei wie ich kann.
May I look at your goods, Miss Price?
It's always a pleasure to have you here, Dr. Reed. Take all the time you need.
Hat sich denn Schönes? Damit.
It's locked.
Erstmal ein bisschen aufräumen, ne? Haben wir noch eine Kiste, die noch abgeht. Liegen bleiben.
This is no place for a gentleman.
Ah. Keine Sorge, ich wollte nur die Tür aufmachen. Bin schon wieder weg.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Oh. Ein neuer Unterschlupf. Wie schön. Aus. Erste Unterschlupf, wo wir nicht laden müssen. Leute. Schauen, wie es ihm denn so geht.
Good evening, sir. May I ask you what you're doing here at this late hour?
I'm conducting an investigation about the epidemic in this part of town.
And who are you, sir?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed from the Pembroke Hospital. May I ask who you are and why all the questions?
I'm Detective Inspector Charles Albright from Scotland Yard. And I don't find your answers convincing. What is a Pembroke doctor doing in the West End at this time of night?
Oh, ich habe... Oh. Wir haben aber ganz schön viel in der Erschöpfung.
I work for the Ascalon Club. Here is my permit to go freely about the city.
The Ascalon Club? You should have said so, sir. I must warn you, these streets are dangerous, and you'd better be careful.
Do you know anything in particular about a man called Aloysius Dawson?
Who doesn't know the man? I think he intervened personally to put an end to the police strike of last August.
What else can you tell me about him?
Aloysius Dawson is exactly the kind of powerful and influential man who could commit murder and get away with it, with just one phone call.
What are you investigating, exactly?
I have a missing woman, possibly abducted a few nights ago. Louise Teasdale. It seems you already found my other missing person, Mr. Tadao Kimura.
Tell me about Louise Teasdale.
She's a waitress. Her father reported her missing. We don't have enough men to search for her, sadly.
Do you have any idea where she could be?
No. But I feel she's been abducted. She went to a pub a few nights ago and vanished. I thought about the sewers, but I'm not equipped for such an investigation.
Why are you investigating at night?
Criminals rarely act in daylight, you know. But since you are also a night worker, have you noticed anything strange which requires police attention?
Wer war der nochmal? Anmelden.
I'd like to report a name, Inspector. Jeffrey McCullum. I'm afraid he's some sort of vigilante, trying to recruit an army of angry citizens.
Then I'll write the name down and transmit this intelligence to the appropriate office. Thank you, sir.
What can you tell me about this district?
I'm the one asking questions, especially when there's a killer on the loose.
What killer?
I'm not going to discuss that with the civilians, sir.
Haven't I told you about the investigation I'm conducting? Perhaps I could help you.
All right, without giving you too much information, I'll tell you this. I'm convinced there is a homicidal maniac on the loose, using the epidemic to disguise his kills.
And what about the epidemic?
We both know the situation is critical, don't we, Doctor? Colleagues of mine die almost every day.
What are you really doing here?
I told you. I'm a detective inspector from Scotland Yard, investigating suspicious cases in the area.
Do you work alone?
Yes. The situation is difficult for the police. Many of us are sick, and since the summer strike, most men apply a work to rule on their patrols.
What about the situation in the East End? Why are there no police there to protect the civilians?
I know, it's a shame, but we just don't have enough men to cover the entire city.
Alles klar.
Tell me all you know about that homicidal maniac you're looking for.
I'm not even sure there is only one. The wounds are always the same, but the modus operandi varies. Sometimes violent and brutal, sometimes precise and swift.
How could different killers inflict the same wounds?
That's my main problem. If my theory is correct, maybe we're facing a group of individuals sharing the same violent tendencies. Perhaps a sadist cult.
Goodbye, Detective Inspector Albright.
Goodbye.
Einer. Gut, wir schließen mal hier auf.
We should be far from town already. All right. But where would we go? Anywhere. Anywhere that isn't here. And what is that, by the way? A safer place? A less strange place? And where would that be? Life is strange. And we are alive. For now, yes. But for how long? If we decided to flee, we should be far from town already. All right. But where would we go?
Oh.
Good evening, sir. I am Dr. Jonathan Reed. Do you need my help?
Yes, please. Would you be kind enough to tell me what the time is?
That's all you need to know.
Well, is it not important to know? As important as where you are? Or who you are?
I suppose you're right. And who are you then, sir?
I am Agamemnon Baker. Like my brother, I think we need to leave this city immediately. And my brother and I rarely agree on anything.
What can you tell me about Aloysius Dawson?
You should ask that question to my brother instead. Personally, I've not seen Aloysius for many years.
May I ask why you've not gone already, if you're also exasperated by this long wait?
I believe fear is holding us back. My brother would have said it's laziness, but it's just because he's prouder than I am.
May I ask what you're doing outside at this hour of night?
I don't know. You should ask my brother instead. It was his idea in the first place.
You must have your own ideas.
From what I have managed to understand, I guess we're supposed to wait here. Waiting for someone to come.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
It's the only place I've considered myself happy. Or at least that's what I believe. Unfortunately, it's time to leave.
Why is that?
Because I'm not feeling happy here anymore. Are you?
Nein, tue ich doch nicht. Hier leiden aber ganz schön viele unter Erschöpfung.
No, I'm not.
Good for you. It's a good thing to have a clear idea of where you stand concerning crucial questions. Don't you think?
What can you tell me about your brother?
He's older than me, I think. But the important thing is that I really hope I'll die before him. Grief would just kill me, you know?
Is that all?
Pericles is very attached to this city, and without my insistence, he would never leave this place. We don't often agree on anything, you see?
Doch, den können wir ein bisschen beeinflussen.
Who are you waiting for, exactly?
The more I think about it, the more I believe it's not exactly a person we are waiting for.
But what else could it be, then?
I don't know. A feeling? An event? An impulse? How can I tell? Something that would allow us to leave this trap.
I'm afraid I'm not following you. What kind of trap are you talking about?
Have you ever felt like life trapped you in a role that does not fit you? That you are not in your place? That sort of trap.
Trap? And you think leaving London will free you?
At least it will give us the chance to be free. That's more than our present situation. Hope, Doctor. Hope is what truly drives mankind.
What are you really afraid of, Agamemnon?
The problem is, it's precisely what I don't know that frightens me. So I suppose I can't really answer your question.
Goodbye for now. Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I be of assistance?
Dr. Reed? Dr. Reed?
Is there anything wrong?
No, it's just... your name sounds familiar. And your face. Have we met before?
I think I would remember. So I suppose the answer is no.
That's odd. I'm certain I've already heard of you. My name is Pericles Baker. Does that mean anything to you?
I'm afraid not, sir. But it's a pleasure to meet you anyway.
The pleasure is mine, I guess. I only wish I could remember when it was that we met.
Oh, du hast wenigstens gesagt.
What can you tell me about Aloysius Dawson?
I've heard this is a man who has searched for his place in the world for a long time. I hope he found it.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Baker. What are you doing out here in the middle of the night?
We are waiting. Waiting for someone.
And why are you waiting for this person?
Because we need to leave this city. As soon as possible.
Why do you want to leave the city?
I'm not really sure.
Can you tell me anything about this district?
As you like asking questions so
Alles
much,
klar,
would you
viel
allow
Fun.
me to ask you one first?
Please, be my guest.
Do you like this city?
I know we are not living in the most peaceful of times, but I have learned to appreciate London's complexity.
Yes, me too. This city tests us. It invites us to find ourselves, to discover our true nature scattered throughout its dark streets.
But what if we don't like what we find?
Do we ever know who we are? I wonder sometimes. Or maybe it is the journey to find out who we are that changes us.
And what do you do, sir? For a living, that is.
I stopped working when I decided to leave. When I realized what I wanted. Wanted something this city can't provide.
But what were you doing before you took this decision?
Does it really matter anymore? Considering the past seems so pointless to me. I have lived in this city all my life. And now I think it's over.
Tell me more about why you want to leave London, then.
I just don't belong here anymore. I had to convince my brother to leave London because I know we need to find another life out of the city.
Alles klar. Und da gibt's noch eine Frage.
Pericles, tell me why your brother disagrees with your presence here.
Agamemnon is naive sometimes. Although don't consider him a fool, sir. He is often more lucid than me.
At least you both have the same difficulty explaining what you're doing, and for what reason.
But is that not a common problem for all mortals?
What can you tell me about your brother?
If you are searching for a pleasant chat, you should speak with him instead of wasting your time with me. He's always been the more gentle of us.
That's it? That's all you can tell me about him?
For the time being, true kindness is the most valuable quality, my good sir.
Can you tell me anything? Please.
Do you like...
I know...
Yes.
But what...
Do we ever...
Da haben wir schon gehabt.
How long have you been waiting for this man?
Sometimes I feel as though I've been waiting for him for ages. Perhaps it is my role in life to wait for him. Not a pleasant thought.
It could be dangerous for you, waiting here all night.
That's quite true. But what other choice do we have? We are waiting here until we finally go.
Mr. Baker, I have met many strange people during my life, but you are definitely one of the strangest.
Really? I don't feel particularly odd or weird. All I want to do is leave. What's wrong with that?
Why are you still waiting for this person?
What would be the point of going before meeting the man, as he's going to help us leave?
Oh.
Tell me more about your strange feelings towards the city.
I would be happy to describe them, but it's too hard to explain with mere words what I'm feeling. It's unclear, too confused.
Go on, please.
Where should I start? The world is chaos. Men go mad, and nature itself runs roughshod over us all.
This is not the first time mankind has faced a deadly epidemic, or a war.
Men kill each other, while nature decides to kill them all. I don't know what scares me the most. Do you?
Both can be disastrous, and a combination of the two merely increases their potency.
And what if they were just a sign of worse disasters to come? Something of biblical proportions, I wonder.
Who are you waiting for? I'm sure he has a name.
I really can't answer that question, since I don't know that person.
And why is that?
This person is most...
Leave London anyway.
Well, I thought we should have left this cursed place already, but my brother convinced me to stay a while longer, and here we are. Longer? How can I tell?
And where exactly are you thinking of going?
In a meaningless chaos to make such a heaven plausible.
Haben wir alles gefragt.
Goodbye, Mr. Baker.
Hello again, Dr. Reed.
Tell me, how long have you been waiting here?
I can't say for sure, since I have no watch. But the night is still young, and I am not tired.
Is that the most honest answer you can give me?
Yes, I think so. Why does it irritate you, sir? Is comprehension really that important to you?
I'm a scientist. I try my best to understand things. I know the world has to obey unbreakable rules.
You know, or you want the world to obey such rules?
Alles klar.
I know one thing.
Vertritt uns auch die Worte,
I do not understand who you are.
And it's better that way. What kind of life would we live if we could summarize a person in a few words or a few lines?
If you finally manage to leave London, where do you intend to go?
A happy place, that's for sure. A place where I can smile because I know the next day will be better than the previous one.
Such a place doesn't exist. There are never any guarantees that tomorrow will be a better day.
That would mean I have no hope left, and I just can't accept such a conclusion.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Baker.
Mal kurz zum Unterschlupf. Machen wir mal kurz ein paar was gegen ein paar Blutvergiftungen. Hat eine Blutvergiftung. Hat eine. Ach nee. Erschöpfung. Erschöpfung. Ne, der hat sehr Kopfschmerzen, das ist kein Problem. Ein mit Erschöpfung. Keine Erschöpfung. Erschöpfungen haben wir gehabt. Eine, zwei, drei, vier, fünf. Erschöpfungen. Da haben wir kein Mittel dagegen. Wieder raus, denen helfen. Spielen wir mal netter Mediziner.
Hello again.
Do you need
Indeed.
You have
sounds.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Beck.
Einmal geholfen.
Good evening.
You know.
Do you need?
Oh yes.
I'm just.
Perhaps.
Goodbye for.
Doctor, I am glad.
Kann ihr nicht helfen, wenn die da unten rumgammelt? War wohl nichts. Oh, die ist wieder hier oben.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, young.
My mother always prefers when people...
Do you need my...
Oh, please.
Don't be shy.
Thank you, sir.
Goodbye, Captain.
I am sorry, I can't help you.
Oh, dort oben ist er.
Dr. Reed.
Do you need...
I'm afraid I may have caught something.
You'll quickly fit...
Thank you, Doctor.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
So, dann schauen wir mal. Wohin geht's denn als nächstes?
Perhaps London will survive the epidemic, but I see terrible trials awaiting in the future.
Oh.
Jonathan Reed. At last we meet. The cards warned me you would visit tonight.
I beg your pardon, sir. Do I know you?
Of course you do. Our mutual friend, Dr. Swansea, can't speak highly enough of you. My name is Usher. Usher Talltree.
You are the leader of the Brotherhood, are you not?
Primate of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole, to be precise. I'm really glad we met tonight. I love it when the cards tell me a truth.
The cards told you to expect me.
Yes, they tell me everything. They told me that you struggle hard not to take too many lives.
Do you require medical attention?
If you don't mind.
You'll feel better after taking this.
Thank you very much. I feel better already.
Jo, das ist immer schön, wenn wir ihm helfen können, ne?
Is there anything you could tell me about Aloysius Dawson?
Aloysius Dawson. Yes, of course. We met on several occasions. With time, he got deeper and deeper into the occult.
He's not the only one. It's been quite the fashion for several decades. The Golden Dawn, for instance, is just one example.
True. Aloysius was a member of the Golden Dawn until 1900. Then his thirst for dark knowledge grew. I'm talking forbidden texts, readings which blackened his heart.
Is there anything you could tell me about Aloysius Dawson?
Aloysius?
He's not...
True.
Can you read the...
Are you sure you want to know what they will reveal?
Yes, I am.
It will cost you 150 shillings.
Perhaps later. What can you tell me about the neighborhood?
I really don't know. I don't often go outside. And when I do, it's usually to quite distant destinations.
So you see nothing in the stars for me? You're a poor fortune teller, then?
Oh, I can tell you many things. But they will only concern you, not the city. For example, I know that you offered your sister the final rest she asked for.
Do the cards speak of my Mary?
No. It's the burning aura of guilt that precedes you everywhere you go.
Read my fortune.
You have been chosen, Jonathan. I see on you the mark of a strong being, so powerful it needn't even reveal its strength.
Tell me about yourself. What do you do here, besides turning cards in the middle of the night?
I'm for most a charlatan. For a few, I'm a vampire. And for you, I'm the primate of St. Paul's Stole.
Some believe you to be a vampire. Who?
The guard of Priwen, who else? For a time, they sent spies to observe my activities, and they even broke into my home to gather proof.
Did they steal anything from you?
A personal notebook they quickly took to their headquarters. All they had to do is to look at me. I'm aging. What better and definite proof that I'm not an immortal?
Do you want your notebook back?
If you ever find it, I'd be glad to have it back, of course. I do ask one thing, though. Do not read it, Jonathan. Some secrets are not meant to be revealed, even to immortals.
For how long have you been a primate?
It was 15 years last year.
What do you make of Dr. Swansea?
Edgar is a brilliant and dedicated man. A man of his time, sometimes a little muddled, but always looking for new paths and new concepts.
Interessant.
May I ask you about the Brotherhood?
Of course. But I must warn you that there are some subjects we consider taboo, in spite of our fondness and acceptance of your kind.
I know there is no love lost between the Guard of Priwen and the Brotherhood. What caused this rift?
It was 1801. The Brotherhood was stronger then, a strength that made them hungry for ever greater power. An argument divided them, and the wound never healed.
What was the nature of the disagreement?
The problem was that both sides considered themselves the legitimate heirs of the original Brotherhood. We divide up the books, the relics, not always fairly or with consideration.
Who founded the Brotherhood?
That's precisely the kind of question I cannot answer. It is delicate and may reveal some of our secret traditions.
So you're not just a club of academics and scholars?
Once upon a time, very long ago, the Brotherhood did more than simply study the vampires. They took actions to eliminate the more ferocious and corrupted.
How do you measure the amount of blood on my hands?
I told you. The cards always tell the truth. Well, most of the time.
Is it possible to tell me my future?
A vampire's fate is much more delicate to read, Doctor. But I can try.
I would rather not know. How do you...
I told you.
Is it possible?
A vampire...
All right. Let me hear it.
The walls of your prison have already been raised, Jonathan. But you will freely accept to be locked inside, full of hope for a better day.
Alles klar.
How did you learn about Mary? And spare me the hocus-pocus parlor tricks. The truth, now!
Swansea told me. Don't look at me like that. His task is to observe and gather information about vampires. He had to tell me about Mary.
Ach herrje.
Mary did not deserve her fate. She had already suffered enough during her life. And yet the pain and the suffering went on after her death.
Suffering is part of the immortal condition. Some prefer to lose their minds rather than face the simple truth. Pain will never stop.
Can you read the cards for me?
Put the money on the table then, Jonathan, and open your mind.
Na dann.
Here is the money.
The hunter. A good heart in disguise. A liar willing to help for real. An armed man unable to strike.
Goodbye, sir. Until we meet again.
I rarely wander. Yet it amuses me to converse with your kind.
klar. Ja, immerhin hatte er keine Krankheit. So sind hier mehr oder weniger alle gesund. Boah. Gehen wir mal wieder. Was denn? Down! Hätte mich sowieso nicht angreifen können. Ist der Unterschlupf. Ups.
How dare you interfere with my hunt?
Liegen bleiben. Achso, geht doch. Die wollen, dass ich nochmal da drunter gehe. Der soll's nicht liegen. So könnte man hoch, aber nee, doch nicht. Lass mal wieder halt.
You should
Thank you for...
Oder wir können
Goodbye,
immer
Miss
noch
Teasdale.
nicht.
This is despicable.
Können wir hier mal ein paar Mäuse.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Schauen wir mal, wo müssen wir denn hier? Ach, hier müssen wir hin.
We've got one of them! Send you to hell! Filthy fucking bitch! Filthy fucking bitch!
It's locked, all right.
See them? Watch it!
Liegen bleiben. Auch nicht da.
Look at it! Vicious bugger!
ja nichts machen, ne?
Understandably, you have questions. Very well, proceed.
Goodbye.
Dann gehen wir nochmal dorthin. Schauen wir überall rum. Irgendwie müssen wir in das Anwesen kommen. Meise,
blood.
Meise. Immer gut.
This is despicable.
I can't believe I'm doing this. I have this thirst for blood.
Schreit die ganze Nachbarschaft zusammen, meine Güte. Keine Sorge, Hitler löscht ganz schnell. Ich hab da ein ganz gutes Mittel für deine Eilkämpfe. Blutpunkte sind immer. Und noch ein paar Sachen. Heilungsdinge. dadum, dadum. Geh mal kurz zum anderen Unterschlupf. Vielleicht kommen wir über den anderen Unterschlupf schon anwesend.
Walks with me! I order you!
Komm mal hoch. Jetzt. Oh. Ja. Komm mal hier rein. Ah, wir sind im
Dawson's mansion. Here I am at last. But the question remains, am I ready to make a dying man my progeny?
Lady hat uns ja geraten, wir sollten es besser nicht tun. Denke ich, höre heute mal auf mein Herzblatt. Also, dein Herzblatt da. Irin. Raten, wir sollten das besser nicht tun. Oh. Seine Gründe haben, warum die uns das... Oh. Ach, Zeit, kein Ding.
It's locked, all right.
Außerdem bekommen wir ein ganz schönes, ordentliches, naja. 1000 EPs, wenn wir ihn aussaugen.
Finally, you're here, Dr. Reed. What took you so long?
I had to pass several of your barricades and outposts to access your mansion, sir.
Death, pestilence surround us, and time is against me.
I see you've gathered some of the most expensive, albeit experimental, blood transfusion equipment available. All this could be so useful in a hospital.
Yes, yes. Since Lord Redgrave sent me a doctor to perform my conversion, I thought you might find some of these devices useful.
Most thoughtful. But tonight I'm not here as a physician.
But I feel reassured that a specialist such as yourself would help me to escape the Reaper.
Very well. But before I proceed, I have a few questions for you.
If you must, but be quick, for I don't have much time left in this life.
First of all, I need to be sure that you know exactly what is going to happen to you, sir.
I can assure you I'm as informed as any man can be. I have planned for this moment, Dr. Reed. Planned very carefully.
Believe me, there is a huge difference between reading about vampires and waking up as one. I learned that myself the hard way.
Oh my God, man, stop your whining. I don't have time for your pointless jibber-jabber.
I will become your maker. Do you understand what that means?
Well, I certainly won't consider you my liege, or some such drivel. You can be assured of that.
I will become your maker. Do you understand what that means?
Well, I certainly won't consider you my liege, or some such drivel. You can be assured of that.
You'll need to feed on warm blood. Blood from mortals. How do you feel about that?
I'm rich, Dr. Reed, and powerful. I'm sure I'll be able to acquire all the blood I need without ever having to sully my own hands.
What do you know about the Guard of Priwen?
What I do know is that I'll crush anyone or anything that would dare to oppose me.
Let's move on then.
Please, I'm cold and tired. I feel my life waning with every moment.
But first, before you embrace immortality, what would you do with such a gift?
That's a rather impertinent question, Dr. Reed, and I will do as I please.
Answer me all the same. What will your first action be as an immortal?
To save London. I will finance the most efficient quarantine ever seen. I will build a wall that will separate the sick boroughs from the healthy ones.
Who gave you the right to decide the fate of thousands of people?
My money. My money and my pending immortality gives me the needed authority, Doctor. I'm a businessman. I'm used to tough decisions.
You really plan to build a quarantine wall across London?
Yes, it will be tall and strong, separating the wheat from the chaff.
By doing so, you will also create 2 separate prisons.
Come, sir. An eminent doctor like yourself knows that such radical measures have proved efficient in the past.
Let me guess. You mean to isolate the rich from the poor?
This is a desperate measure for desperate times. England must prevail, Doctor, no matter the cost.
Quarantine is not a bad idea, medically speaking. But I'm convinced this epidemic will not be contained by mere walls.
As long as the right people are on the right side of the wall, that's all that matters.
But you can't guarantee infection will not spread. Just one contagious carrier would be enough to create an apocalypse.
The apocalypse is already knocking at the gate. We must be strong now.
What if a new outbreak happens inside your walls? You'll have created a giant trap.
That won't happen. as long as we dispose of anyone that is contaminated as soon as they are spotted.
Ich denke nicht, dass wir ihn wahrhaftig, naja.
I've heard enough. It's time to proceed.
At last. All right, do what you have to do. If it hurts, so be it. I've been preparing such a long time for this.
Den Bandsinn. Vergessen Sie Ihre Angst vor dem Tod? Oder ich werde Sie töten. Den Bandsinn.
Listen to me, Aloysius Dawson. You will forget your fear of dying, for it has poisoned your mind and made you bitter and ruthless since the death of your twin brother.
You don't understand. Death is oblivion, the eternal void. I know there's nothing there. I saw it in Robert's empty eyes. I saw myself in that coffin.
Death is painful for those who remain, not for those who have passed. All that occult gibberish you filled your head with has made you forget this simple truth.
No! Death will not claim me. I have the power and the money. I've acquired the arcane knowledge needed. I believe there is magic, there are dark forces. You will provide me my extension.
Your ignorance makes you a fool. You have no idea. Look at me. Hunted like a beast, my family lost, cursed. I have not escaped death, I have become it.
No, there must be a way. I don't want to go like my brother did. I have money, lots of money.
Money won't ease your mind. I know you used to be a good and generous man. So I offer you the gift of peace, Aloysius. The tranquility of a true death.
I accept your offer. And I understand. No more fear, I will die a man of dignity. And a man at peace.
Wir hätten ihn töten können. Aber ich denke... Wenn wir ihn getötet hätten, wäre das schöner. Aber nö. Wir können ja nichts machen, oder? Was kurz. Ob man das nochmal wiederholen könnte oder nicht. Falls nicht, ist ja nicht so schlimm. Können wir noch mit ihm reden? Geht offensichtlich nicht mehr. Oh, Pech gehabt.
It's locked.
Wir werden dann später mal auf ihn zukommen. Hat auf alle Fälle keine Angst mehr vor dem Tod.
Is it done, Dr. Reed? Is Aloysius Dawson reborn as expected?
I'm afraid Mr. Dawson finally chose to embrace life and death as a mortal.
What do you mean?
He has overcome his fear of dying. I let him rest and wait for death to come.
What? This is unacceptable. Go back there and make him the powerful Ekon he's destined to be.
No, Lord Redgrave. As a doctor and as an immortal, I can't. If you wish to make him your progeny, then proceed on your own.
This is an outrage beyond words. This is betrayal, pure and simple. I should kill you on the spot. You swore on William Marshall's blood.
Well, get rid of me then.
From now on, you're an outcast. Banished. You are forbidden to ever appear in front of us again. Ascalon will smite you on sight, and your heart will be thrown to the rats.
I'll leave you then. Have fun with your puppets and shadow plays, Lord Redgrave.
Yes, go, traitor, and take that awful creature, that counterfeit of a woman I saw waiting for you, and be gone!
Step away, traitor. Return to your dubious friends and your decrepit hospital. Do not dare show yourself again, you or that monstrosity bring to my door.
Was du für nötig hältst. Oi.
We meet again at the strangest of times, young Ekon. So do you serve the Earl of Bristol now?
Old Bridget. What are you doing here?
Your friend, the wise Ekon.
Hey, schön, dass du wieder zuschaust.
She sent me to warn you.
How did you meet Lady Ashbury?
She came to us in the sewers in search of answers. Just as you did.
What kind of answers did you give her?
I knew nothing of your maker, but we talked. We talked a lot. Her words and ideas are captivating. It is no surprise that you like her. I like her too.
Lady Ashbury in the sewers? Now that's a sight I wish I'd seen.
She said she was your friend, and that she sought the identity of your maker. So I answered her questions.
Did anyone see you? It's a long way from the dock sewers, and hunters are patrolling the streets here.
Who said I took the streets? How do you think I survived for centuries in this city without ever being seen? I know all her secrets.
Lady Ashbury? You know her? Tell me what's going on.
The lady approached me but a few nights ago, wanting to meet the sewer skulls. Once she questioned Harriet Jones. She agreed to help us.
Harriet Jones is still with you then? How is she doing?
Harriet remains angry, but is recovering slowly. Her mind is twisted, but at least her body is healing.
Tell me what is going on.
The lady asked us to keep an eye on your mortal doctor friend while you were away. We spotted the hunters. They were discussing plans to attack tonight.
Wait, slow down. I need to ask you something.
I'm listening, but I do not have time to waste, so be quick.
How did Elizabeth find?
She presented herself humbly at our gate.
What do you...
Her soul...
Why did she...
I am...
Where is Lady Ashbury right now?
She said she will go home. She needed to speak with some old friends first, though. Do not worry, young Ekon. She is no fool, and just as strong as you.
Why do I...
Because I used...
You're...
Yes.
Note.
I shall
Yes. Tell her I love her.
Is this still unknown to her? Go now and take care, young Ekon, for the flames are rising.
Ich werde auf alle Fälle hierhin. Wir gehen mal kurz hier runter. Mal schauen, was passiert, wenn wir jetzt in die Hütte gehen. Also hier zu denen, meine ich. Wir werden schauen. Das wird ein Spaß. Das größte Zimmer. Das gerüstet sind wir. Oh, komm ruhig her. Die eins über die rüber, da vergeht hier Lachen und Sehen. Sehen und Hören, genau. Sehr schön. Die werden hinüber. Oh, schön, dass die tot sind. Falsche Richtung. sind sogar die noch Knoblauch gefüllt. Die Welt wird immer schlimmer. Wie geht's hier? Denen? Jo, die sind weit so gut.
Sir, you are not welcome. Sir, you are not welcome.
Oh, nicht? Wir kommen mal... Wir gehen mal hinten rum. Schade, wir kommen da nicht mehr rein. Naja, was soll's. Ja, man ist ja immer noch von irgendeinem Vampir kontrolliert, ne?
He is dead.
Have you recently?
He is dead, I've heard. I wish I was dead too.
Wirklich? Das wünscht sie sich? Von ganzem Herzen? Gut. Wenn sie sich das wünscht. Wer bin ich, dass ich ihr den Wunsch nicht abschlage?
Thank you for releasing me. I can finally say the name of my torturer. It's Jacob Blackwood.
Alles klar. Jakob, Jakob, Jakob. Danke. Jakob. Wo ist denn der Jakob? Der ist es nicht. Ja, die ist weg. Unbekannt. Ja, sieht nicht aus, als könnten wir den irgendwo finden. In nächster Zeit. Aber gut, wenn ich dem zufälligerweise über den Weg laufe, diesem Jakob, dann, ja. Hat er erstmal ausgedient. Haben wir noch was gegen die Erschöpfung im Inventar? Aber können wir kurz herstellen gehen. Das ist ja unser Haus. Na dann, einmal was gegen die Erschöpfung. Können wir hier noch etwas aufwerten oder auch die können wir wieder verwerten. Meine Güte, die Gegner werden stärker. Maledeite Axt aber eins. Hast du etwas Redebedarf?
We meet again, Mr. Kimura, in a more peaceful situation.
Dr. Reed, still visiting London by night?
We must both be nocturnal animals, you and I. After your captivity, I thought you'd be more cautious.
Breathing the cold night air helps calm my mind, sir. I've had the most frightening nightmares since I escaped that filthy jail.
How is the situation in the West End?
I've heard rumors about armed men patrolling and fighting infected citizens in these very streets. I was lucky they didn't shoot me when I was abducted.
May I ask you what you do for a living, Mr. Kimura?
I was a landlord. A wealthy one. And not a very kind one, I realized recently.
Why this sudden epiphany? Is it because of your near-death experience?
I was already feeling nostalgic about Weymouth, my hometown. With recent events, I'm thinking about going back there.
What can you tell me about your abduction?
If you really want to know, I was locked in that building for 3 or 4 days. My jailer was insane, mumbling about sacrifice and voices.
And why didn't he sacrifice you?
That was the weirdest part. He claimed to spill blood was not enough. It had to be done when some stars were aligned.
Which stars?
That's the whole point. He wanted me to talk to him about some Red Queen configuration or constellation. I've never heard of such an astronomical term.
What did he say about voices?
He constantly whined about the voice of his master, ordering him to do terrible things. He wanted to silence the voice by offering blood. My blood.
Why are you so nostalgic for your hometown, Tadao?
I was focused so much on making money, I almost forgot that my relatives and friends are threatened by this epidemic.
Have you heard anything from your family?
I was not only a bad landlord, I was also a bad husband. I've not seen my wife and son for years. Busy, busy, busy.
At least now you're ready to go back and see them. But don't be surprised if your son bears a grudge, sir.
You make it sound like you suffered from an absent father yourself, Dr. Reed. Well, I'll keep your warning in mind.
Have you no friends at all?
Over the years, I'm afraid my greed turned me into my friend's adversary, while I became friends with my professional rivals.
Those you grew up with didn't share your views on money and success.
Would you believe I was once a member of poetry circles and an astronomy club? We were young, such joyful dreamers then. But I stopped laughing long ago.
Alles klar.
Can you change? And is it what you really want? If so, it must come from within, not without.
I've seen what an altruistic gesture can do. Nothing forced you to save me, Dr. Reed, but you did. I will follow your example in these matters from now on.
Follow my example, then. Find a complete stranger and help him or her the best you can. Then invite him or her to do the same.
You know what? That's not a bad plan, actually. And I should start with my family, for they are almost strangers to me now.
Tell me, Tadao, why was your abductor so interested in your passion for astronomy?
I don't know. We met a few times at the Royal Greenwich Observatory. He seemed to share my hobby. Then he invited me to his house and locked me in.
Yes, astronomy is a fascinating subject. When I was a child, my mother bought a small telescope for my sister and I. We spent many a pleasant evening stargazing.
Stars are not just dots in the sky, Doctor. They are the key to our understanding of the cosmos. They remind us how insignificant we are.
You're right. But children love magic and stories. I remember
Hashtag
our
is
mother
so.
told us constellations have the power to protect us.
Protection by the light of the stars. That's sweet. You remember the name of these constellations?
Pegasus. It was the constellation my mother liked the most.
Memory's a strange thing. I can recite without hesitation the names of the 88 constellations, yet I barely remember my own childhood.
Did he fake his interest in astronomy to get close to you?
No. In his madness, he spoke about a blood sacrifice to be made to his master when the stars aligned to a specific configuration.
Interessant.
Do you need medical assistance?
Don't believe that I'm the kind of man with a fragile constitution, but I'm afraid my imprisonment has done more harm than I thought.
There is no need to be ashamed. We are all equally vulnerable to this disease.
Yes. I know now life is as precious as it is fragile.
Goodbye, Mr. Kimura. Take care.
London has brought so much pain to me.
Ja, wäre also mein... Ja, gut. Schauen wir mal, ob wir noch etwas hier über einige rausfinden können.
Good evening, old chap. I won't... You need some... Good evening.
And good evening.
Da gerade nichts.
Goodbye, Charlotte. Give...
She's been...
London has brought so much pain to me.
Geh du ruhig rum. Dann gehen wir mal zu unserer Liebsten. Also zu seiner, nicht zu meiner. Klopf, klopf. ist sie gesund. Das ist doch wichtig. Schön gesund. Das Bild nimmt Form an. Schön. Das ist schön.
Elizabeth, I'm so happy to see you. I was so concerned.
It is also good to see you in these darkened hours. Is all well, my dear?
Indeed, we stand upon the precipice. Has the news reached you of Edgar Swansea?
No. I returned home but moments ago. What of him?
Your friend, the well-informed old Bridget, tells me the Guard of Priwen has assaulted Pembroke. I fear Edgar tops their bloody list.
Bridget? She is such a tragic figure. And yet, I sense deep inside, she has a delicate, fragile soul.
Was verheimlicht sie mir? Mag sie auch kommen.
Indeed, she has. I'm glad you like her too.
Once this is all over, I will study the sewer skulls. I fear I have made terrible mistakes, founded upon erroneous preconceptions.
I was concerned for your safety. McCullum draws too close to you for my comfort.
Fear not. I've evaded the hunters for many a year, and I intend to stay far from their gases, flames, and spikes. Now, speak to me of Dawson.
I convinced Aloysius to embrace death as the ultimate gift of mortal life. I believe he found peace in the end.
The cost must have been heavy indeed. I am proud of you, my love.
Ascalon has defrocked me and threatens to hound me from the city. This was, no doubt, inevitable.
You did what you thought was right at the time. One can ask no more. The important task now at hand is to help poor Edgar.
Now I am assured of your safety. That is precisely my intention.
Good. Now go, my dear, and return with good news with the greatest haste.
Bis bald. Na dann. Unsere armen die werden wohl ganz schön alle ein bisschen. Naja. Geht noch. Wir reden mal mit allen. Dann schauen wir, wie schlimm das ist.
Easy does it, boys. We can deal with it, roll back to the
Oh, die beiden liegen.
Leech!
Ja, gib mir Blut.
I can't believe I'm doing this. I have this thirst for blood.
Dude. Er hebt sich so schnell nicht mehr. Hoffentlich.
What is this truck? Are the vampire hunters here already?
A leech! A leech! Stay back, bitch! Remember your vows, friends! All back to the hell that's God walks with me! Back, demon! Back!
Haben wir den auf die gute alte Weise umgebracht? Mit einer Pistole und einem Schwert.
See that fancy clothes? This one's atop his head! Want some of that? Fuck, he's dead!
Bleib liegen. Gesünder für dich.
It's one of them!
Was schreit denn da? Ruhig her. Ich habe hier noch eine Keule für dich. Keine essbare, aber eine gute für deinen Kopf.
It's locked.
Ist verletzt, wer braucht Hilfe? Wie geht's den anderen?
Will this ship never move?
Ich hab Migräne. Ja, der kommt schon klar. Hallo. Schauen wir mal. Hat ordentlich lang gedauert. Ich würde sagen, ich bedanke mich bei euch fürs Zuschauen. Ja, gehen wir auf das untere. So gut, kann man so stehen lassen. Dann schauen wir mal noch, was die folgende Nacht noch bringt. Er ist tot. Oh, die sind aber ordentlich gesund, würde ich mal raten. Gesund. Wir spielten ja auch fleißig Medizinverteiler, ne? Ja, was? Nö, die alle bald wieder im grünen Bereich. Ja, gesund. Wir hatten die geheilt, also ich nicht, aber gut. Soll's recht sein. Alle gesund. Das ganz miese Vorahnung, warum die plötzlich alle so gesund sind. Im Krankenhaus kein Problem, aber an den anderen Orten...
Good evening,
I need blood.
Are you all right?
They were vampire hunt.
They hurt him, you say?
Yes, I hide in the shadows, but I've heard them.
What did they want?
They wanted Dr. Swansea to confess his guilt and admit to relations with blood drinkers.
I'll leave you, mistress of the dark.
Damn. The pain.
Good evening, Mr.
Evening.
Are you all...
Yeah.
What did they do?
They went upstairs.
Goodbye for now.
Your last words would be, sir.
The pain.
It's here again.
Ach komm. Ich sehe einem,
Good evening, Mr. Alp.
Evening, Doc.
Er hat doch so viel Schmerzen, sagt er immer. Wollen wir ihn davon erlösen? Ja komm. Sind so frei.
I wish I could be sick again. Feel my blood boil with the fever.
Du hast nie wieder Schmerzen, mein Lieber. Du hast nie wieder Schmerzen.
So this is how it ends. Farewell, my life, you betrayed me, good.
Nun denn, wir gehen zu unserem Zimmer und dort brennen wir dann. So. Jetzt seid ihr sicher, wir haben aufgelevelt, was ihr beleveln wollt, und ich bedanke mich bei euch fürs Zuschauen. Wäre nett, wenn ihr eine Bewertung, Abo. Vergesst nicht, auch beim nächsten Mal wieder einzuschalten, wenn ich streame.